Alright, welcome back to the Steampunk Globe. This is a new image that I created with a little bit more detail, and I've got a download link for that as well, and you can get that. And it's not that important to have that in Blender here, like I've got it in here, and line everything up, because we've got most of the parts that we needed where we want, and we're just going to refer to this more than model against it. Alright, so I've just added a little bit more detail, and I think that's it. We have a lot of little things to get through in this video, and we may not get it completely done, but we'll do what we can. Alright, so let's see. The first thing I want to do is I want to add this to these things here. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to switch to normal. I'm going to pull that out, and I'm going to go into edge selection, and you can see when I selected that I'm not going to be able to pull it down, but if I press F, now I can. I have that Z arrow, so I'm going to pull that down like that, and I'm going to now, I'll delete that face again. Alright, now I'm going to turn on my screencast keys just to have them on in case that's important to you. I'm going to look from the front. It doesn't really matter that whether it matches the diagram. I'm going to move that probably in as well, but I'm going to press Control R, put an edge loop there, and I'm going to Control B and pull, give myself a space like that, and then I'm going to roll up and keep rolling up so that I can see about 3 rows. I can see 3 rows that I could use. 1, 2, 3. To make what would be like threads. So I'm going to press 3 for face selection. I'm going to deselect, and Shift and Alt and click there and there, and I'll put my thread there. Hopefully that's close enough together. So I'm going to press E and Alt S and push, and I'm going to do that. So I've got that done. Let's focus back on that. Let's see. I think I'm going to need to put some more edge loops. So this project is going to be I don't give a damn about how many polys I'm using. So I'm going to select those edges and Control B and pull, roll back to just 2, and then 1 more. So I have a total of 3 in there. And that's probably going to be okay. Let's see if I come in here, I can now push that back in. Let's look from the front and do that, just so that I get a little bit of thread showing. And that's that change. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one, I'm going to delete it. So I've got just the one there. Now I want to get it in this spot, and the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to select the globe here again, and Shift S, cursor to select it, bring my 3D cursor there because that's nice and symmetric. So I can take this, but switch over to 3D cursor, and I can now Shift D and just R and use that as my pivot. And I can zoom in and then just press R and just continue to do this and get it as close as I can. That's good enough. Alright, we're going to do the front in just a second. I think we're pretty much, let's do the base first. I've got this stuff here. You can see that. Now, I actually went ahead and made a small change to my base, just to the shape, and I put a hole in the middle. And I'm going to come back to here and just manipulate this. So, alright, I just wanted a little indent in there, and it just got moved around a little bit. So, you know what, that's not even really necessary. I don't even think it's gonna matter. But anyways, if I look from the front and I go in edit mode, you'll see it doesn't quite fit. So I'm gonna pull this down to about there, and then I'm gonna take this piece here, and I'll go into edit mode and wireframe. I'll switch back to global, and I'm gonna box select there. I'm gonna pull this down, and we can just decide how much we really want to make it like this. So let's go ahead and drop an edge loop here, and Let's see. Let's take that and Control plus, and let's E and Alt S and pull. Let's just scale Shift Z and do it that way. And I'm getting the base a little bit better. And I'm going to take this, let's see here, what have I got? Okay. Okay. I think what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to actually delete those faces and start again. I'm going to Shift Alt and click these faces, and I'm going to pull them down like that. All right, I'm going to go back into wireframe and 1. Scale that in a bit. Actually, I'm going to scale it in all the way like that. And then I'm going to extrude down to close to there. And I'll have a hole, so I'm going to come down. And with that row of vertices selected, I'm going to Shift Alt to click that one and Control E, bridge edge loops. And I'll have those. And then I'll just decide if I like this. I'll go ahead and I'll put a bevel on there with 3. And I'll bevel that like I usually do. And up here, I'm going to drop some edge loops as well. There. And I'm going to come down. So we'll get that. And I'm going to come up. And I'm going to come down. And we now have this. Now, how well does that match up? Not bad. All right, let's, in edit mode, let's now do that thread. I can actually just do this by hand. I can bring edge loops to roughly where they are on the reference, and I can select these, and I can Control B, pull, just roll back to 2, and then I can E and Alt S and push to push them out. And I'll have this. Then I can come in and I can select these edges. Actually, I'm thinking, do I want a subdivision on that? If I go Control 1, which I may do, I have a situation down there I see I'll have to work on. I'm going to leave that subdivision on because I'm putting it on all kinds of things. So this one is feeling jealous. I'm going to pull. I've got 2. There's 3. Probably okay. I mean, I could throw edge loops up and down. You know what? Now that I'm here and now that I'm doing it, I'm going to do it. And it's going to look a little bit better. At some point, we'll have a look at how many polys we're at so far. All right, so we're just trying to make it look a little bit more steampunk-like. Let me hide that and see what's going on down here and what I have to do. I need a nice flat region here. In order to do those screws. So if you don't have that and it's coming like that, it's actually, I do have to come out. So I'm going to take this and just extrude it out a bit like that, and I'm going to just extrude down by 1. I'll drop an edge loop in and out, and 1 up here like that, and put some bolts. So that will change my base, and really that indent is not necessary. Let's just focus on that. Let's get rid of that. Not that the extra polys are going to matter, you know, at this point it's really not going to matter. Let's get rid of those, and let's see, what have I got? Yeah, just have to make a face. It's really not going to matter, but let's go ahead and do those. Now, do we have any bolts anywhere we can use? No, so let's start creating some. So I'm going to come in here, and I'm just going to select there. I think that's the center one. Bring my 3D cursor there, and let's bring in a circle. We'll make it 16. Once again, a lot of this detail would normally be done in texturing. I'm doing a lot of it in modeling for you, just because it'll look nice, and in case you're not texturing in Substance Painter or something. So I'm just making a circle, and I'm going to extrude down. I'm going to get rid of that bottom face, and I'm going to select that top face. I just pressed 3 to go into face selection, and I'm going to do this a roll up, maybe another one, shade smooth. That should be good enough. And I'm going to drop that bolt there. It maybe is angled a little bit. I'm not sure, but I think that's probably okay. Like that. So let's make them go around. So let's select just something like that. Okay, it goes around. Just bring your 3D cursor there, and let's go in. And I'm going to set my pivot to the 3D cursor, and I can look right there in edit mode. I can just go Shift D, rotate Z 180. I have to specify because I'm not in orthographic. If I'm just like this, I can do it that way. But if I'm not, I'll select everything. A to select everything. Shift D, rotate Z 90, and then A to select everything. Shift D, rotate Z 45. If you are happy with just that many bolts, and I am. And I'll leave them. Not going to be that color, so let's grab this, come back to our object properties, and we're not on strict white, so Control C, and we'll come to these and put that in. Control V, and we have that part, I think, done. Okay, let's get to the globe. All right, so the poles are facing up and down right now, and I want to take this. Let's go back to median point with that selected. And I want to rotate X 90, so the poles are facing us and away. And we're going to select that one, and we're going to go Control plus up to, I believe it's there. I'm going to press 3 for face selection. Is it one more? I think it might be one more. Let's try that. I'm going to press P to separate by selection, and I will have that. I'll go into wireframe for a moment, and I think we have what we need. I can hide that, and you can see the other guy inside. I'm going to take that in Control 1 anyhow. Alt H, we've got that. Okay, let's hide that again for the moment. And we're going to make this ring that goes around. Let's try it this way. Let's Control R and drag before we release to get a certain thickness. I didn't want it right in the middle. I wanted it a little bit off. Shift Alt and click those. I'm in face selection. P to separate by selection. Let's take that, and S to scale it out a little bit. And then I'm going to take this edge here, E and S. Let's just try pulling it in. And let's take this edge, E and S, and pull that in a little bit. And then we'll bring an edge loop up here, and an edge loop down here. And I think what I'll do is I'll come in here and Shift Alt and click. Let's see if I can get that edge again. Sure if that's the one. Is that the top one? Let's shut off the subdivision for the moment and see if I can get down in there. Is that it there? And I'm thinking what I want to do is I just want to pull it back a little bit to sort of cover that spot so it's not in, I don't see through it. Okay, I'll do that. So I did that, and I'm going to bring an edge loop up here. Let's Alt H and put that back. I may, let's see if I pull it back ever so slightly. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to Shift Alt and click all these faces. I don't know if I have everything. If I have, oh, you know what I haven't done is I haven't brought an edge loop in, and that'll tighten it up. So let's bring an edge loop up in here, and that should close off any gap. Okay. All right, that's pretty good. All right, so we've got some bolts here that we could use, right? Let's go in and select a piece and Control L for linked, and let's Shift D to duplicate it. Just pull it out, and P to break it out. So we've got that, but let's come back to this guy. Let's look down from the top and select maybe that edge and bring my 3D cursor there. So with the 3D cursor there, let's take this and bring it close by set origin to the 3D cursor and geometry origin. At least it should be up in the vicinity of where we want it. Period key to focus on that, and I don't know how big to make these. Let's look from the side and rotate it and push it in and just start getting a sense for it. I mean, something like that's probably going to be okay. All right, just get it where you want it. Okay, so with that there, we're going to go around the circle. So why not, what do I want to select? Can we use that thing? Shift S, cursor to selected. Take that, and that's the pivot. Let's try this. Let's come in, Shift D. Now it's the Y we want to rotate around. Rotate Y 180. I just want to check that one. That looks pretty good. So we're going to select both of them. Shift D, rotate Y 90 on the sides. Select them all. Shift D, rotate Y 45. And let's see if we have done what we need to do. I think we have. If we want that many bolts, let's save that. They should be the right color. Yeah, that's looking all right. Okay, let's now take this guy here, and we're going to use that as the glass, and we're going to switch that to like I'm going to do like a greenish color, and you can darken it if you want. And the main thing is we are going to, there's the alpha, I'm going to lower that to around just over 50. And I'm also going to put on solidify. So I've got a subdivision on there, and it's just solidify, just the default, just like that. And now we can see through, so that would be the globe, that would be the glass. And we are getting there. That looks pretty similar. Make sure we're saving. Okay, let's turn our attention to the back. The back is going to look something like this, so let's do that. I'm going to hide the reference image for now. Do I have two reference images in there? Oh, that's the old one, eh? I'm just going to hide that. All right. Control 1 to look from the back, and come on in and grab this, and Control plus. I think I'll do 2 and switch to face selection. Actually, I'm going to take that and P to break it out. We'll use it. I'm going to hide that for the moment and come in here and select that. E, and let's go back into median point. I'm going to pull it in a little bit. It's got a subdivision, so it'll be nice and round, and then angle it like that. But I think I will bring in an edge loop. That'll make it a nicer appearance. Alt H is going to bring back everybody. So all of you guys go on out there. So I got this guy here. That's what we want. Let's just actually focus on that. And I'm going to take this edge and extrude it in, and we'll bevel this. Control B with 3. There's 2, 3, like that. Slash key to bring that back. I'm going to delete that vertex and extrude in like that, and then out a little bit. F to make a face. Control B just to put a little something on top there, and pull this in and down. And we'll have that effect on it. And I'll also take this edge, maybe I'll scale it out a bit. No, I won't do that. I'm going to GG that. And Control B and split it just with 2, like that. E and Alt S and pull to make a little indentation. Let me just see where I put that indentation relative to this. Okay, so then I want the bolts on the outside of that. I can still do that, yes. And to do the bolts, I think I will just use one of these again. So I'll come in, I'll take that one, Control L, Shift D to duplicate, bring it out, P to break it out, and come up here and find one here, Shift S, cursor selected. We may not do these all in the center, we might shift them, you'll see what I mean in a minute, just to do something different. Let's take that and bring it close by origin to 3D cursor and geometry to origin. Control 1 to look from the back. And let's rotate X 90. Was that the right way? Look from the side. And no. So rotate X 180. That's better. Bring that in and rotate it. And scale it or whatever. Just get it into the position that you like. Think up. I'm going to try to get it more in the middle. How about there? Okay, let's use this as the thing that we're going to go around. Shift S, cursor to selected. Select that. Switch to there. Because I'm orthographic, I don't have to mention the axis. So I'll do this in edit mode. Shift D, rotate 180. Select all. Shift D, rotate 90. Select all. Shift D, rotate 45. Select all. And then I can just rotate like that. And maybe I'll put them a little bit more sort of, I want to say staggered. I don't think that's the right word for it. But okay. And these are the right color, right, for this? Or are those white? No, that's right. So Control C, we'll do that. And I'm going to put that on this piece as well. Control V. And we have what looks like a back plate on there. So we're coming along. Okay, we have that back plate. All right, what's next? I think we need to move to this part here. So the idea, of course, is that this is a globe under glass or plastic, and this is some kind of a magnifier, and you can move this. You can focus this a little bit with a ring here and some knobs and stuff like that. But the globe itself moves based on, I don't know, right now, maybe these slider switches or something. Moves the globe position, and you look through this. And I'm not going to move the diagram. We're just going to do it on here somehow. So my 3D cursor is right there. So I'm just going to start by bringing in a circle, which is going to be 22 vertices, and pull it over. And let's go back to median point. Okay. And let's rotate Y90. Scale it and just position it, and model off this, and then we'll position it on the main model in front of you. So I'm just pressing G, and now I'm pressing E to extrude, and we're just going to check this, and I'm just going to position it, scale it, and then we're just going to pretty much go with that. Okay, select that edge. No, do it in vertex. Let's try this. E, and come in and see how good it lines up. It's just got to be kind of close. E and come out straight. E and come up. Very simple. E and come out. Yeah. E and come up to here. We'll skip this indent. We'll just go E and come right to the end. Come back to that in a second. Let's go back into solid view now. Select the whole thing. I'm sure some polys are flipped, so go Alt N. Recalculate outside to see the color change, so they were flipped. And for the end, although we can sort of see here, we're just going to do what we want to do. So let's just go E and S and come in like that. E and come in again like that, and just angle it. I'll just let it stop there. And we'll do a similar thing back here. Take this one, E and S, come in like that, E, and come pull in this way a ways, and just angle it like that. I know it looks like something from a spaceship, which is cool. So let's start beveling. Those two, Control B, we're just using 3. I will bevel this relatively tight so that we get a nice edge there. Beveled edge. Anyhow, I'm beveling all these. Okay, this one I'm going to bevel. This one. I'm going to bevel these two, and then we'll do that. We'll do that indent in a bit. Those ones, I'm going to bevel this one. And actually, I probably want to do one more thing here. I probably want to just extend that out straight, just a little bit, and bevel this. It'll just, I think it'll look a little bit better if you look inside. I'm not really going to look inside, but I'll do the same thing here. I'll just extrude it out straight. It just kind of makes a bit more sense to me. we'll do that. I'll shade smooth that in just a second, but let's look from the front again, and we're going to come in here, and I'm going to, I think I'll just bring edge loops in by hand. Just like that. 3 for face selection, Shift Alt and click, E and Alt S and pull down in a ways, maybe off the reference image a little bit. So I'll have that space. Now we're going to bevel these. So I press 2 for edge selection, back to these guys. Control B with 3. And we really will need edge loops here. Control B, pull. I just want to push that out like that. Not all the way to the end though. Now if I shade smooth that, it should be looking okay. I will be doing a subdivision surface on that though, just because that's what we're doing this time around. Okay, now we got this turning knob here. So to do that, I already have that selected, and if I don't, just reselect it. Shift S, cursor to selected, bring the 3D cursor there, and I'm going to bring in a circle with a lot of polys, or a lot of vertices in here. I'm going to go for 64 for this one. Scale it down, and I'm going to rotate Y90. Get it to fit roughly. That can be adjusted in a bit. And I'm going to push it out to here. And I'm going to extrude it. So I'm just basically doing something in the gap there. Now it looks like some of the polys are flipped, so I'm just going to recalculate outside. Press 3 for face selection, so I've got everything selected in face selection. And again, I would not do this. Well, I used to do this in modeling. I don't recommend you do, unless you don't care about polys. And we don't care about polys right now, in this particular case. Press I twice, I. Hold down Shift and move in so you have some little spaces that are selected. E and Alt S and push, I guess, not pull, push. Push them out a little bit. And then come on over here and add a bevel. And I'm going to add 2. And come in. And I should do a merge by distance just to be sure. And we can shade smooth that. That's probably okay. And I think what I'll do as well, so I'm just going to scale it out for the moment. And I'm going to Shift Alt and click that edge. Go E and S and pull it in. And Shift Alt to click that, E and S and pull in. And then select the whole thing and just bring it in. Just like that. Something like that, so it's like a little bit raised maybe. May need to put a modifier on there for smoothing. Well, let's not worry about that yet. Let's do whatever. Should we do one of those knobs real quick? Let's see, how can I use a circle from here? It's 22 or something like that. Let's try that. Shift D to duplicate, pull it up, scale it down, P to break it out. It's got a subdivision on it. I don't know if I'm going to use that. I can't remember, so I'm just going to shut it off for now. And let's rotate this. Let's actually have to make a face. That's fine. Let's rotate Y90, and we can sort of get a sense of the size of this by just doing this. All right, so we got that. All right, so let's just extrude down a ways to make this knob. Just come down to like something like that, and then we can still sort of see. All right, so I could do it this way. Let's go into wireframe and 1 E and S and pull in till you kind of have the stock of it, the width you'd want. Just do that. Let's come back to the top. I to inset, pull it in a ways, and E to extrude, pull it down a ways, and scale it in like that. Okay, let's bevel this. I'll take those because they're going to be the same pretty much. I want 3. And then I'm going to bevel this edge, and I'll even bevel the inside because otherwise I'll have to do an inset or something. Let's just focus on that though alone. I don't need this bottom face, so let's get rid of that. And okay, I'll bring that stuff back, and it's got a pattern on here. I'll show you. You may not be able to see there, so I'm going to create an edge loop there and pull, beveling. And we'll just do something in that space there. So I'm going to do the same thing by E and Alt S. I'm going to make myself. I usually would like to have a little space before I put a pattern like this. I think it looks better than just having it on the surface. And we're not done with this yet. Okay, let's bevel these edges. Control B. We just need, what have I got? 2, 3. And I will need that stuff in the middle. just to do that so that I can shade smooth and it'll look right, and I can even put on my subdivision. And I'll bring an edge loop up in case I decide to keep that subdivision, and I'll pull one in just to make it a little tighter. So that looks good. So let's do that other pattern there. What did I do? Maybe what I'll do is I'll take this Shift D, scale it, just scale it out to just so I can see the thing. Let's take that, and I'm going to roll some. No, I'm going to put some. Let's just focus on that. Some edge loops on that. I don't need the subdivision on right now, if at all, so that I end up with squares. I think I'll do it there. So I got 4 edge loops. Okay. I'm going to select it all, and I'm going to press Control F and poke faces, and then Control F and tries to quads. With that still selected like that, I'm going to press I. Normally I have to press it twice, but because I already did it last time, it's still activated. Just I. Hold Shift and pull in. Not too much. You see the orange spaces? Like that. Okay. E and Alt S, and then it's either push or pull. Looks like it's push to make them come out. Now I've got shading on there. There's no way I'm going to use a subdivision on that. I might use a bevel though, just to sharpen it up a little bit. Bring that back. Take the whole thing. Take this whole thing. In fact, I'm probably going to do my edges. So select that edge, E and S, and pull in. Just otherwise, it's just like a flat plane there. Shift Alt and click that edge. Come on, E and S, and pull in. And take the whole thing now and scale it until it starts to fit. All right, and you know, if you go up in your bevel, you can get them a little bit flatter, and I might do that. I know a lot of polys. I hear you. I know. What can I tell you? I'm going to apply that, and I'm going to look at this and decide. You know what? I could probably get away without the subdivision. Although I like it, but no, I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to apply it. I'm just going to say what the hell. I'm going to join those, just so it's not a real pain. All right, let's leave that like that. This thing, it needs this. It needs a weighted normal, and normal's auto smooth. Okay, that's what it needs. That's what it was lacking, and it might even need to come in a little bit. Okay, safe. We need to do the glass at the front of this, so my 3D cursor is right there, right? So for that, I'm going to be bringing in a UV sphere, and I'm leaving it at the default. So I'm not going to worry about that. Rotate Y90, scale it down. I'm going to look from the front in wireframe. I'm going to be scaling this in the X and sort of following the contour of that. I'm going to be deleting this back bunch of vertices, so I have that. I'm going to shade smooth, and then just position it where you want it. All right, that's good enough for now. And for this one, let's grab this glass color. There it is. Control C, and let's put that on there. Control V, and bring the alpha down to 0.5 something. And really for glass, we should give it some thickness too. So just throw the solidify on with the default values, and we have that. All right, let's move this and then see. And you could put glass there as well. But let's see what we can do if I select all of this. Let me make sure I got everybody. I do. Okay. Let's look from the front. We are. Let's just rotate Z90 minus. It's there. Let's look from the front and sort of line it up with that screw. It may not be perfect, and now moving it into about the middle, but it's back there. I'm going to move it forward to some extent. I'm going to look from the side, and this to side, I kind of like it there. Okay, I want this material on here, or this color anyhow. So I'll come in here and I'm going to copy that. And that's going to go on you. Control V. And let's see, what have I got in my image? That stuff, silver, that stuff. I think we pretty much got it. We pretty much got it. Yeah. All right, well, I think what we should do is conclude by doing a little bit of this work, at least so we've got that attached. I could, however, just really quickly look at the knob, and we will move the knob. I'm not certain where I want that, but we can always move that. I'm going to select this as my central thing, and select that. I'm going to switch over to 3D cursor. And in wireframe, you see the knob there, so I can just R to rotate and just kind of do that. And I'm just going to duplicate, and we could look at the number of polys, or we could not do that. I'm just going to move that one out, so it's a little bit different. Only if it's still making contact. And it looks like it pretty much is. So you could have those wherever. You can have them exactly opposite to these, so it's kind of symmetrical. I'm just going to put them there. So those are going to control this focusing magnifier of some sort. All right. Before we go on, let's just hide that so it's not even in the picture. How are we doing? 140,000. It's not too bad so far, huh? All right. Okay. Let's try this. How are we going to do this? Circle 22. I'm not sure. It's going to go from the middle of this, and it's going to attach to the bar somehow, right? So I'm going to do is I'm going to move that up, actually, because it still looks like it's in the middle there, and I can get a sense of this. Not quite. There's the middle of the bar, right? And there's that. Okay. Get rid of some of this. I'm left with that. All right. I wonder if that's long enough. I may take this point and just extrude it out like that. Okay. Now, to rotate this, I may grab that point. Let's try it this way. Grab that point, cursor to selected for that. And I'm on a 3D cursor there. Look from the front. So I can rotate relative to that, so I can just go R. I'm just looking so it's kind of central. I mean, that could kind of work for what we want, don't you think? I could still rotate differently once I convert this to a curve, so let's do that. And I'm hoping that I have enough polys in there, although I'll be adding a subdivision. Let's do this. Let's go Control 2. Shade smooth. I think that's pretty much going to do what we need to do. And then we'll have another one down there. And what I can do just to test that it's all going to fit is I can take that and take this piece and Shift D and rotate from that thing to there. And it'll be like that. So I think that's going to be okay. Everything we do, we're going to do on this one, and then we're going to copy, because I do not want to do it again. Okay, well, first of all, I know that in here there is a cylinder of sorts. You know what, I'm going to mold this, Shift D, P to break it out. I'm going to take that, I'm going to increase the size of this, and I'm going to take this, and let's go back to median point. Pull this, and I'm going to try and get it to just work. And that might be a little bit big. Pull it down and mess around with this. And it may not look exactly like the diagram, but I'm okay with that as long as it looks okay. I'm going to start with that. Yeah, and I'm going to convert that to a mesh just with 3, and convert to mesh, and I'm going to fill that in and bevel it, and then I'll position it better if need be. Now it sticks in quite far. Oh, I went through the glass. Take that, I have to make a face so I can switch to that normal, and yeah, grab that, and I'm just going to bring it in. Well, the other part sticks in too. All right, we won't worry about that right now. I just want to look at this, and how I'm putting on a subdivision. I'm just doing it. Just out of curiosity, the colors are silver. I hope they're silver. Yeah, they look silver. Okay, so I don't have to change that. Although that's not the silver. It doesn't matter. Let's just do this. Shift D to duplicate, and let's just play with this thing. Let's just move it. Let's go back to global roll for now. And yeah, okay. Rotate Z. There's somewhat better ways of doing this, but I'm just going to do this and try to get it done relatively quick. It doesn't always have to be perfect. Sometimes there's imperfections in these things, and that, you know, kind of makes it look a little bit better. What's going on there? Don't tell me I'm okay. They're joined. I'm going to break them out, actually, so I don't want to screw up my other one. Yeah, anyways, I don't want to lecture you on mechanical design. That's the last thing I want to do. Okay, we got those 2 pieces in there, so yeah, that's good. Okay, what else do we want to do? I want to do another one up here. I think I'm doing another one. I'm going to take that one. Different ways to do this, but I'm going to take this one. And I'll look down from the top. What am I doing? Okay, I'm going to close up the back and bevel it like that. Oh, is that? It's not bad, actually. Got it pretty quick. All right, okay. And you're telling me there's something in behind there? Is that what you're telling me? Are you telling me that? And so why it's here exactly, I don't know. What we're going to do to make it look sort of steampunk, we're going to do one of those. One of those. And how about we do it close to here? You know what? I'm going to be joining a lot of this stuff anyhow, but for the moment, let's do that. Okay, let's go. Let's do a circle with how many? That is the unknown. Yep, I'm going to stick it with 22. And scaling it down. But I'm going to bring it up though, just to give myself a bit of room. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do now is I've got all the vertices selected. I'm going to do a checker deselect, and I'm going to pull those in. And do I want to do, I might Control I to select those ones, and then bevel, Shift Control B, pull, and have like just 2. Make it kind of stubby like that. Okay, I'm going to select it all, E and S, pull in, and I'm going to use loop tools to convert that to a circle. I'm going to leave it actually out there for support, and then come on in like this. Let's give that a try and see. Polys are flipped, I can tell, but let's just give that a little bit of thickness. Select it all, Alt-N, watch the color. Small change there. And I would end up doing a subdivision on that, like that, and then bringing an edge loop up and an edge loop down. And I may need more, well I will here. I'm just going to do this. We probably won't focus on the hole because maybe that'll just be covered anyhow. But we'll have this. And yeah, I could probably live with just like that. So I'm going to take this now, looking from the front, I'm just going to rotate it. and start playing with this. Okay, we'll scale it down. And then just get on the angle that you want and rotate it according to the axes that you see. And that's not the way I want it exactly. Just give me a minute here. It's not bad. I think I had it and then I blew it. What I think I'm going to do is come in and grab those faces and Control Plus and just scale them in. In fact, I might delete them in case I care about polys. And take the whole thing and just scale it down. And then you can touch up the rotation at your leisure. Although I think I want it thicker, so let's try normal. Scale in the Z and just do that. Just, I could delete some polys on the back of this cylinder as well. But does that look anything like what I had here? That maybe I won't bother with that stuff so much. I'll do a little bit because we are going to convert this into a mesh anyhow. So I think I'm going to be happy with most of this stuff. So let's just do that. All right, you get the general idea. For this one, I'm going to go with 4, a little bit higher, and convert to a mesh. And back to my 2. Now it's a mesh. And I'm actually going to apply that. And that's going to get it quite dense. And then I'm going to choose an area, and I can't tell exactly on my diagram, so I'm going to choose like this much of it. Is that an okay position to do that? I think it's probably okay. I press E and Alt S and pull, just to make something different on it. And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to bevel. So I'll select that edge, and I'll select that edge. Control B and have 3, and I will do the same on these little inner ones, because otherwise we're going to need some support, and the shading's not going to be right. So I'm going to do that. And then you could do whatever you want to that. I'm going to leave it. I might do something on the side, but we'll see. All right, now with that done, what have I got? I've got 1. I've got that one's applied. I've got 1 on there, and I've got 1 on there. You know what? I'm going to apply that subdivision. I'm going to apply that subdivision. That one, we're going to join this whole thing up. And that one has 1. I'm going to apply that. I'm going to join those. And we're going to join all this stuff. And join. But I think I will come in here, select it all, merge by distance. There's nothing to merge. Okay. And then we'll take this guy and we'll bring our 3D cursor there. And we'll use that as the pivot. We'll take this guy. And I'm just going to switch back to global. And we will Shift D to duplicate R to rotate. And hold Shift. Get it roughly where we want it. And hope that it looks good. Now I'm looking at this and I'm realizing I don't like it, so I will select a little bit of it. I'll go back to median point, and at this point I will just adjust it, to a way that I maybe prefer it. And I guess that happened on this one as well. Maybe I didn't look in every direction, every angle. We're just touching up now. And I'll come over here and I'll look, and that one looks okay. And that one looks okay. And those look okay. All right, let's hide all this stuff and do a quick face orientation, and we're actually all right. Okay. I may select it all and merge by distance. I got rid of a few vertices. All right. This is what we have so far, and we are moving along quite nicely. We'll see if there's any more modeling to do in the next video, and we'll eventually try and do some kind of texturing on this, although this does look awfully cool. All right, cool. Thanks for watching, and hope to see you next time.